Hey guys, Alicia here.
And Jarrett.
And it has been a while since we've done one of these kind of sit down type of WW videos. I think the last one we did was a weigh-in months ago, which if any of you have noticed, we pretty much do not do the weigh-ins anymore. And that's for no really other reason other than we just kind of got burned out on them, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just kind of got tedious. We went on vacation for a couple months, didn't do them during then, and then we just sort of got out of the habit. But it's something we might do in the future. We're just not doing them right now. But anyway, it's been a while. We're back today to talk about the new WW Personal Points program that rolled out yesterday, Monday, November 8th, in the US anyway. I think it came out earlier in other countries, but it just rolled out for us here in the US yesterday. So I've been checking out the new plan over the last day or so, well, yesterday. And we just kind of wanted to talk about it, sort of the details of it, what we think of it, whether it's something we're going to continue to do in light of the changes, because it is a pretty big change as far as what we were doing on the green plan, don't you think?
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about how this will or will not affect the videos that I do. So let me jump in and say, first off, the colors are no longer. There is no longer a green, blue, or purple plan. In fact, there's not really a set plan. How would you describe that? There really isn't a set plan with set points for things like recipes anymore for everyone, right? It varies depending on the person and their individual 0-point foods. So that's kind of the big focus of this new plan, is the 0-point foods. Everybody has 0-point foods, quite a bit of them actually, and they are different depending on how you answer the questionnaire that they give you.
So really, if you think about it, it's not, at the end of it, it's not much different than the colors.
No.
So if you're on a, what was it, purple had a bunch of 0 points.
Yes.
So depending on how you answer, you're going to have 0-point foods, and it comes out, because with the old system, I always said that if I was on a different color, not only would I not lose weight, but I could gain weight if I didn't control myself, because I would just go, if I was hungry, I would go to those 0-point foods.
You go ham on the 0-point foods, yeah.
Well, now it's the exact same thing, but they're making it sound like it's personalized to you, because you answer questions and they select your 0-point foods.
Yeah.
But my guess, if you could go back and compare the 0-point foods on the very liberal plans, it would be similar to the 0-point foods that you have now, depending on how you answer.
Yeah, so I look at this as very similar to the purple plan, like you said, because the purple plan was all about, and anybody that did it knows, it was all about having a whole bunch of 0-point foods, but not having a lot of personal points. Whereas the green plan, which is what we did and what we're used to, it was the one with the most amount of points, but the least amount of 0 points.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the only thing that was 0 points was the fruits and vegetables, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, for us, this is kind of a big drastic change. Well, not drastic, but it's a big change. But if you were on the purple, I think you're going to find it pretty similar to that, is what we're trying to say here. But it is different in the sense that on the 3 colors, whichever color you were on, a food or a recipe was going to be the same amount of points for everybody in that color. Whereas with the way they're doing it now, it all depends on what 0-point foods you have that are going to factor into the points for the recipe or whatever. So that's kind of the direction they're going in this. They are trying to tout this as it's way more individualized, way more personalized. And in a way it is, because they do take into consideration more what foods you like as far as what 0-point foods you're going to get. But other than that, it is very similar, I think, to the purple plan. So yeah, there's a lot of focus on the personalized 0-point foods in this, and those are chosen, like I said, by the questionnaire, and that just deals with what kind of foods you like, whether or not you're a diabetic. They do have a plan now, I don't think they did before, that was geared towards diabetics, did they? That to your knowledge?
I want to say they recommended not doing Weight Watchers in the past, but now they do.
Now, yeah, which is very neat.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, well, and I'm not totally sure either because neither one of us are diabetics. So I'm not sure, but they do currently now have that factored in, and you can do Weight Watchers if you are a diabetic, which I think is neat. So that's a good plus. But anyway, so they factored that activity level, etc. And each person is going to have a different amount of points, and again, different foods that are 0 for them. So you're going to take this quiz first off. And for those of you that are already signed up with Weight Watchers, you've probably already done this, but it's going to ask you questions first off. Are you a diabetic? I think that is the very first question. And then it asks you, how often do you like to eat vegetables and fruits? What did you say for that? Did you say most days?
Most days.
Yeah, and I answered that too. I said most days for the vegetables and fruits. And then it said, it asks you a question about what types of food you really enjoy, and then it gives you a list of options. And I said salty snacks, sweet snacks, and refined, can't talk, grains like bread and crackers. Do you remember what you said? Is that what you said on that too?
Yeah.
And then the next question or thing is you pick protein-rich foods that you enjoy. I said eggs and non-fat yogurt because if you have been watching me for a while, you know that I use that non-fat plain Greek yogurt for almost, well, not everything, but I use it in so many different things. And you don't necessarily use the non-fat Greek. You use it for sour cream and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I use it for dough. I use it for sour cream. I use it for tons of stuff. So that was one of mine. Do you remember what yours were? Proteins?
I mean, we only varied on, I think, one.
Yeah, so you probably said non-fat. Well,
I think I did because it's such a big part of our diet.
Yeah, and the recipes I do, I use that a lot. You can pick up to 4 on that, and I also said chicken and turkey breast and beans, peas, and lentils. Just because those were the best options. I think there was tofu and something else that I don't eat at all. So those were the 4 that we picked. And then it gives you a choice of a few things you like eating most days. And I said avocados and whole wheat pasta. And I think you said avocados and
oatmeal.
Oatmeal because you eat oatmeal
for breakfast
every single day.
Yeah.
So that was kind of how we answered those questions. And that was pretty much it. There were some activity questions, like how active are you?
Yeah, so it's based off of time. So how many minutes are you active a day? And I did 30 to... They were short windows.
See, I don't remember that question. I remember answering, do you do your activity you measure by steps or...
Oh, see,
that's what it was. Steps or time. Okay,
yeah,
so I did...
that's where it differed for us.
Yeah, so I did steps because I've got my Fitbit that I'm constantly counting steps, and you did time.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other questions in relation to activity. But other than that, that was kind of it for the quiz. It's not
very short.
Very short, very easy to do. And then once you finish that, they come back with your personal points and what your 0-point foods are. Now you can take this quiz as many times as you want if you want to kind of play around with, what foods you want to eat as far as the 0 points, and then also it'll affect your personal points too. I did it a couple different times, and I ended up settling on the last one I did, which gave me 16 points, personal points a day. And then for my 0-point foods, it gave me essentially the categories, which is legumes, avocados, eggs, fruits, poultry, vegetables, whole wheat pasta, and yogurt. And I think yours was exactly the same, except instead of the whole wheat pasta, yours is oatmeal.
Yeah.
Now you're supposed to be able to see your full list of 0-point foods on the app, but currently I'm not able to do that. When I go to it and I click on my 0-point foods, it says, "Hi Alicia, here are your 0-point foods," and there's nothing there. We weren't able to find anything on the website either, right? You looked?
Yeah, I poked around and couldn't find anything. That's not to say it's not there.
Yeah.
But it's not obvious to me.
It's not really obvious.
Yeah.
So as far as the app goes, I love the app. I would recommend you get the app. They definitely want you to get the app. They're kind of, they definitely promote it. But I love the app for the barcode scanner. that comes in handy a lot when I'm out shopping or something and I want to see what the points are on something. So I definitely recommend the app, but I also have had some issues with the app as far as it not scanning correctly, meaning it doesn't give me the right amount of points on some things. I've had that happen. And currently now, and it's probably because they're rolling out this whole new thing, there's kind of a lot of different little glitches on the app. Like I said, I can't see my full list of foods. It was showing like apples as 3 points on the app today for me, which obviously that's not the case. So some glitches, but hopefully they get those figured out. And as I said, I would definitely recommend downloading that app. Do you have it?
No, I do. I don't use it.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't shop for the most part. And that's mainly what I use it for, is shopping. But I will use it to track or check things just in general too. So as I said, my personal points now are 16, and that is down from the 30 that I used to have on the green plan, which is pretty substantial. And yours are from what to what now? You were 50 something?
So I was anywhere around 56, and now I'm down to 35.
So pretty big
Yeah.
drop for you
And then
too.
I have 28 weekly points, and what are yours?
So my weekly points, and that is something that I'll touch on later, that you have weekly points, and mine are 21. So that's what we've got as far as what our 0 point foods are, what our points are.
So, I mean, I just feel like I'm on the purple plan.
I kind of feel like I'm on the purple plan too, and I would love to hear from any of you guys that are on the purple plan if you think we're totally off basis on saying that, or if you kind of agree that this is similar to that. Because we never did anything other than the green plan. Yeah. And it was because we didn't want to have all those 0 point foods. And that's exactly what we said, right?
Yeah.
Of why we chose the green. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys if you are on the purple, what you think of this new plan. I'd love to hear from all of you what you think from this new plan, but I'm really curious about how similar this is to the purple for those of you that have done the purple. So the new program, the focus of it is more healthy fats, fiber, and things like whole grains, and less added sugars and unhealthy fats, like saturated fats. So foods that are high in fiber, healthy fats, whole grain, that kind of thing, they are going to be lower points now than they were before, and those are going to be your 0 point foods for some people also, or like I said, they're just going to be lower in general. If they aren't one of your 0 point foods, they'll still be lower. On the other side, foods that have the added sugar, saturated fat, they're going to be a little higher than they were before, so you're probably going to notice that some of the stuff that you may have eaten before, if it's got added sugar, saturated fat, it's going to be higher in points. Now they're saying that that's kind of going to be offset by the fact that we have so many 0 point foods now that we didn't have before. And then also kind of a new thing to this is you can earn personal points. Now I think, do you remember if you could earn them with activity before?
On Points Plus you could. I never did see on the 3 different color version if you could, but I never tracked.
I never did either. So if you guys know, I mean, let me know, I guess, if that's different. But I think it is.
Yeah, and then you get points for drinking water.
Yes. So,
which is great.
Yeah, that is great. So that's kind of the difference now. Instead of, as he said, there was one in the past at least.
And it very well could have been on the
and
colors.
It could have been
just
in
didn't track it.
Yeah, the previous one where you would earn personal points for activity. But now you do. That is one of the ways you can earn for activity, and it's going to depend on your age, sex, height, weight, activity that you're doing, how many points you earn. But you can earn that way. And as he said, you can also earn drinking water. You have to drink at least 60 ounces of water, and then you can earn a point. Now, you're not going to earn more than a point a day for the water. So if you drink 120 ounces, you're still only going to get a point. Weak sauce. Whereas with the activity, that's unlimited. You can earn definitely more than the 1 point. You can earn multiple points depending on how active you are. And then the third way, which is really kind of a different way, is you can earn points by eating non-starchy vegetables. For every 1 cup or more of a non-starchy vegetable, and they do have a full list. I think that is on the app too, of what the starchy vegetable or unstarchy vegetables are. There's like 60 some vegetables that will earn you points when you eat them. And there is no limit on that. So that's my understanding anyway. If you have multiple cups of vegetables, you are gonna earn multiple points. And the app is gonna automatically add those points to your personal points, so you don't have to go in and do that. Basically, every time you track something that they have a little plus mark, which I will put a picture up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But anytime you track an item or a recipe that has a little plus mark in the upper right-hand corner of the little circle that has the overall points, that's going to track however many points you earned through that food. And the other thing is, if you look at a recipe or a food, underneath the name of that, it's gonna show plus however many points it is that you will earn per serving of that. And I'll put a screenshot of that up too, so you can see what I'm talking about. So that's kind of a new thing, earning points by eating your veggies. What do you think of that? We eat a lot of veggies, so we could technically earn a lot of points eating veggies, because again, there is no limit on that from what I can see.
Yeah, I guess it's just that's supposed to motivate people, but they're already zero foods.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, it's supposed to motivate you, and I think it's supposed to kind of get you to fill up on healthier stuff too.
But them being zero already motivates you to do that. It just seems like they double dip there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of like the fact that they've got the 3 different ways. I think that is going to be motivating for people to kind of do more healthier things like drinking water, being active, and eating your veggies. Because it's not for fruits, it's just for the veggies. And as I said, you do get weekly points. That is the same, right?
Yeah, that's been that way for years now.
One difference, and I think this is a difference, correct me if I'm wrong, you now can roll over up to 4 of your unused daily points into the week. So
but you have to select that option.
You do have to select that option? Mm-hmm. Okay, but then once you select it, it says it is supposed to automatically roll those points.
Yeah, once you select it, it'll do it for you.
Okay.
But yeah, I found that this morning when I was going through the website.
Okay.
You have to turn it on.
Okay. And maybe that was the case for the green, blue, and purple, and we just never saw that. But yeah, so you can roll over up to 4 points daily, and those just go into your weekly. And again, our weekly is 21 and 28. So what do we think overall of this new Weight Watcher plan? Other than the fact that Weight Watchers is notorious for changing their plan, every couple of years?
I think 2 years.
Which is a little, I mean, I'm gonna say, I'm not a big fan of them changing it constantly, because that just means you have to relearn a whole nother plan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're trying to keep it fresh, but
they are.
You know, we've been so successful.
Yeah. On the green plan.
With plans, and we were on the points plus.
Yeah.
That I get fatigued with them changing it. I'll be curious to see how this works. To me, there's less accountability, and so you have to be more on your game, and I'll explain that here. So with the green plan, if I'm tracking everything, I can see the points, and it's if I'm out of points, I'm out of food to eat, and I have to wait for the next day. I mean, that's just how it works. In this new system, if I'm hungry and I've eaten all my points, I can continue to go get bowl after bowl after bowl of oatmeal, and it never tracks any points.
And let me jump in here right now, because I forgot to mention that. That is something that I checked. As far as the 0 point foods go, there is no limit on them. So just for fun, I put in, 111 avocados.
Yeah.
And it still was 0 points. Well, clearly, if you were to eat 111 avocados,
you're not going to lose weight.
You're not going to lose weight.
If I have 10 bowls of oatmeal,
you're not going to lose weight.
I'm not going to lose weight. And so I like the accountability that comes with a stricter program.
Yeah. But we're also used to that. That's another thing.
And they're still trying to get you to go to like the vegetables. You know, they're giving you that extra points for the vegetables. But if you're struggling with your diet or you struggle with eating in general like I do, if I have the option between, well, I can have vegetables for 0 points or I can have a food that I absolutely love to eat for 0 points, I'm going to go with the food that I like, and I'm going to do it in excess because I have a food addiction.
Yeah. So for certain types of people, I think that's maybe a little problematic, I guess is what you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
The 0 point foods.
So I'm going to just have to continue to be self-accountable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to rely on the system as much because the system gives me too much rope.
There's too much leniency.
Yeah.
Is pretty much kind of the sum of you and I's view on that. As far as them doing a new program, I think it's beneficial in the sense of it forces us now to relearn something. Because again, this is quite a bit different than the green plan for us. So we need to relearn this, which means we have to track, right? Mm. And ultimately, I think tracking is a really good thing. I don't know about you guys, but as far as you and I go, we kind of get out of the habit of tracking pretty quick,
and then
right?
And then you find that, oh, I'm not eating quite as healthy as I was. And then we've said these in other videos. The system's going to work if you track your points. And of course, this is not necessarily this new one because I don't know how that's going to work for me.
Yeah.
But it was as soon as I stopped tracking, I knew that I was doomed.
Yeah.
To at least put on some extra weight, if not completely go crazy with my diet again. So. Because
that tracking holds you accountable. I mean, you see every little thing and every little point that you're eating when you track it. Whereas
it keeps you intimate with.
You're more cognizant.
Your intake.
Yes, of your intake.
You know, it's like, you know, if you're going to eat chips, don't eat it out of the bag, put it in a bowl so you can see how much you're eating. Well, that's what Weight Watchers is. It's the bowl. Mm-hmm. And it's saying, hey, you're eating this. Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know you're eating this much? Well, yeah, if I'm counting my points that I do.
So in that regard, I think it's positive to be having to refresh it.
Yeah.
It kind of reboots you, makes you start the whole process over and hopefully be more accountable than you were being before. So that's a plus of it. I think a negative of it is it's so varied now. So as far as recipes and things go, no two people, well, I'm sure there's two people, but you know, everyone's going to have a different amount of points for different foods. So like even with you and I, and this was going to be the other thing I was going to say, if you're a couple doing Weight Watchers together, this sort of complicates that too, because let's say you and I had completely different preference lists.
Yeah.
We would have completely different 0 point foods, and something that's say 3 points for you would be 6 points for me, or you know, vice versa.
So you're going to be forced in that situation. You're going to be forced to have the two different accounts.
Yes.
You're going to be forced to be entering recipes two different times because you have to track them two different ways.
Which I'm used to entering recipes 3 different times for the videos I did before, but at least for you and I, if I was to make something that I wasn't, you know, doing a video on, it was simple. It's like, this is the points. Same for you, same for me. And again, I don't think that's going to be huge because
we're so similar.
Well, it
only varies with oatmeal and wheat pasta.
Yes, that's going to be the variant for us. But again, if you were a couple doing this together and you had vastly different 0 point foods, it would be kind of a pain, honestly. And then the other thing, along with what he was saying, is just the concern of too many 0 point foods, because that's not what I'm used to. And not only that, I don't necessarily think I'm going to just go overboard on the 0 point foods and just eat way too many of them. It's more that the 0 point foods that I have now are foods that I eat every single day, and I used to have to track all of them. They all used to carry points, and those points ended up being quite a big portion of my overall points. Now that's not the case. So example, I did my lunch yesterday, and I'll just tell you really quick what I had so you can kind of see what I'm saying here. I had a bean soup that on the green plan would have been 6 points. It was only 1 point now with the 0 point foods. I had an apple and 3/4 cup Greek yogurt. That would have been 2 points for the Greek yogurt. It's now 0 points for the Greek yogurt. And then because I can have eggs, well, and I eat eggs every day, I had 3 eggs. Now, typically I probably only would have had 2, but again, they're 0 points for me. So I was like, well, hey, why not? And have 3 eggs, which kind of falls into that maybe overeating of the 0 point also. But my point is that would have been 6 points for me on the green plan for the eggs. It was now, or is now, 0. So my lunch, that lunch on the green plan would have been 14 points for me, which would have been basically half of my daily points, which was 30. Now it is only 1 point, which is only 1/16 of my daily points. So I think that kind of puts in perspective what I'm talking about. Instead of using almost half of my points as it would have on the green plan, it now only used 1/16 of my points. And that concerns me that I now have, or I'm gonna end up with way more points than I would have before. And if I actually use them, I potentially could gain weight. Okay, so again, the concern is, are we going to, well, I'm in maintenance mode. So am I gonna be able to maintain on this? And are you, not having a large amount of weight, gonna be able to lose weight because?
Well, see, what I'm not going to follow the plan. I'll still track. But I'm just going to do what I can to eat like I was on the green plan.
Okay.
So that's not a good measure for folks that could be potentially watching or wanting updates. But I know for a fact that if I let myself follow it as it's written, I'm going to eat too much. It seems like it's geared towards people that need to lose a considerable amount of weight. So if I came onto this plan at the beginning of my journey where I was 290, even if I ate too many 0 point foods, I would still lose weight. I don't think this is going to work for people that are really close to their healthy weight. I think it'll be very difficult for people to see gains in that situation. And for people that are at a good weight but maybe want to lose a couple extra, I don't think this is going to work if you follow it as liberally as you can.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah. So as far as are we going to continue? For now, yes. And I'm going to kind of try to stick to the plan. Honestly, he said he's not, but I'm going to, because I'm curious to see. I'm in maintenance mode, and I want to see if I follow this and use the points that they give me, what's going to happen. I'm probably going to end up gaining weight, and then I'll be back to having to lose again. But anyway, I'm going to try it because Weight Watchers has worked for us for years now. So I don't want to just be like, yeah, this is not going to work. Because I said that at the very beginning of my Weight Watcher journey, this is not going to work for me. It absolutely did. And it has since. So I'm going to give it a chance, but we're just going to have to see how that goes. And I might have to kind of go back in and give myself less options for food so I have less 0 point foods. As far as how am I going to do videos from here on with this new plan, nothing's really going to change there. I'm still going to do the same content I did before. The only thing that's changing now is that there is no set points for things like recipes because, well, everyone has different 0 point foods. So the different recipes are going to carry different points for different people. So I'm still trying to kind of figure that out, how I'm going to do that. What I'm thinking is I'm going to just, down in my ingredients list, I'm going to highlight the stuff that's 0 points for me. I'm going to give you my points for the recipe, and you can kind of look and compare your 0 point foods to my 0 point foods and adjust points accordingly to that. The other thing that I thought about doing is just putting the nutritional information that you need in order to figure the points on foods. So I can have that down and you could just plug that in and see what it is for you. Those are a couple of things I'm thinking of. I'd love any feedback, what you guys would like to see, if you have a better idea of how to do the points. Because again, it's kind of complicated with everyone having different 0 point foods. So that'll be something I'll just kind of have to navigate as I go. But I'm not gonna stop doing videos. I'm I'm just gonna kind of keep carrying on in the same way I was before. But that's about it. We shall see what we think of this. I don't know. I don't think either one of us have super high hopes of it working really well, but we shall see. But I hope this was helpful to you guys. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.